So the vice president of the United States last Thursday said some of this in public. He said, by the way, who spent more to defend Israel in the last 3 months during the course of this war? Was it Israel or the United States? No, the United States spent more money defending Israel than Israel spent defending itself. Not whining about it, not attacking Israel, but just like, hey, for a little perspective here, your cities are still largely intact because American taxpayers paid to defend them, by the way, to our own detriment. We now lack the defensive capacity to send American troops other places in the world if we needed to, because we expended it defending you in a war that you got us into. So the vice president said that. And then he said this in a now famous clip, which is worth rewatching. Here it is.
What I will say, and this does bother me, is that you've seen people within Bibi's cabinet who have come out and attacked the deal and in some ways very personally attacked the president of the United States. And I guess my message to them would be twofold. Number one, Donald J. Trump is the only head of state in the entire world who is sympathetic to the nation of Israel at this moment in time. And he happens to be the head of state of the world's superpower. If I was in the cabinet of the Israeli government, I might not be attacking the only powerful ally that I have anywhere left in the entire world.
Yeah, you think? I mean, that's the most obvious advice, and it is advice. It's criticism, but it's not an attack. It's an acknowledgement of reality, and it's a call to change behavior. It's, hey, whoa. You know, you've got some ideas that are totally wrong. It would be like you get an argument with one of your kids who's in college, and the kid's like, I don't care what you think, man. And you're like, whoa, son, I'm paying the tuition.
I think J.D. Vance knows that the midterms are coming up, and he needs to strike fast because he can see the writing on the wall. Everybody, you don't even have to be on social media and scroll long before you see this Israel takes about what they're doing and how America feels about Netanyahu and Israel as a country. It started off as just the government. Now it's trickling into the people. People are lumping in I know Americans are, I can see it everywhere. You know, they're lumping the government in with the people. It's just a bad look. He sees it. He knows it. And when J.D. Vance can see that he's lumped in with the Israel lobbyists and AIPAC and Netanyahu and Donald Trump, he knows if he wants to run in the next election, he needs people on his side. He can't you can't just keep alienating people and think you're gonna win. You're not gonna win that. J.D. Vance he's doing some PR. He knows what's up. He can see the writing on the wall. He's no dummy.
Okay, so if you want to pay your own tuition, you can do whatever you want, but as long as I'm paying for it, you got to hear me out. That's a conversation probably every parent has at some point. It's not an expression of hate toward the child. It's a reminder to the child that you are not independent. You're not an adult. How do we know you're not an adult? Because you're not living independently. That's why. And that is the measure. If you can take care of your own stuff, then I'll respect you as an equal or a peer anyway. But if I'm paying for everything, you got to hear me out. My interests and my feelings also matter. In fact, they matter quite a bit because I'm paying for it all. And that's pretty much what J.D. Vance said to Israel. Not, I hate you, but hey, wake up, guys. No, you're all spun up into a state, but here's some reality for you. And then he went on to say, as noted, that we paid for more of your defense than you did. So you would think, and J.D. Vance doesn't hate Israel.
Yeah, but stop taking their money then. You can use that same logic going the other way. You're taking the Israel money. You're taking the money. So now you owe them. They want something for that money. You think all this money that they're pumping into these elections, you think it's just they don't want nothing? You can't be that naive to think that. So you can use that same rationale for the other way around. Yeah. We might be funding this, but it's not for free. They're not funding it for free. They owe it to them. That's why we need new politicians. We need younger politicians. We need politicians that are not taking that money and that are running fair and square. This whole shit is rigged already. It's 100% rigged. Everybody knows it's rigged. I mean, it's pretty ironic This is how you know this shit is super fucking corny. They got the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And Donald Trump is claiming election fraud. Like, follow me here on that. Does that sound like does that sound like the fraud isn't working for you, dude? It's working for you. But yet you already know it's coming. You're going to lose and you're going to be a lame duck president. So you're already preparing for that shit.
At all. In fact, probably a lot of people on the right think he's way too comfortable with Israel, but whatever. This is not an attack, okay? At all. And it's true, most important. Whatever its intent, whatever the motive was, it is factually true. There's no arguing that. What's the untrue part of that? There isn't one. So he says this. So you would think in a country that's thinking clearly with wise people who envision a future for themselves, someone would say, you know what, you're right. Like everybody hates us. Literally, our prime minister's been indicted for war crimes in civilized countries. The whole world is against us. This is our patron. This is the only country that's with us. Maybe we shouldn't give them the finger in public. Maybe we shouldn't blow up a peace deal that's essential to their survival as an economic power. Right? Don't you think? And by the way, they've done a lot for us. It's America. No, that's not what they said. Oh, they said the opposite. They attacked J.D. Vance as an anti-Semite. Oh, really now? Anti-Semite. Okay. Here's what this is not a French character. This is like a very well-known and highly regarded Israeli defense analyst, Ben Sabti. He works at a security think tank, Israel's Institute for National Security Studies. Here's what he tweeted on Sunday, a few days later. Quote, maybe USA needs another Pearl Harbor or 9/11 to remember who is the enemy and who is the friend. Maybe America needs another 9/11. Ooh. Now, keep in mind, it was this same leadership establishment, in fact, it was Benjamin Netanyahu himself 25 years ago, after 9/11, the event, 9/11, the biggest, most damaging terror attack in American history, who said this is a good thing because it reminds America that we're on the same side. We're fighting against the 19 Arabs with box cutters or whoever supposedly did that. So this is a sentiment. It's the ugliest possible sentiment. It's rooting for your supposed friend to suffer. It's rooting for civilian terror deaths in your allies' nation. That's not right. What? There's no uglier sentiment than that. But it's also something that, like, you would never say in public, ever. Even if you had a dark thought like that, you would never say it. You couldn't say something like that. Maybe you didn't know they're 9/11. It's like, saying to your spouse, like, maybe you don't understand me. Maybe if you got stage 4 pancreatic cancer, you would understand how much I'm suffering. You don't wish stage 4 pancreatic cancer on a friend. Okay.
Yeah, but these people are working from a different set of rules here. I mean, if you see what they're doing to the people of Lebanon when they have those food banks, it's literally target practice for their military. So these people are working from a different set of rules. It sounds, you can see where the hate can come in. It's like you got this big power in the United States and we're helping you. You can only, once you're dependent on somebody for so long, you'll start turning the lens on them. You'll turn the lens around and now you're the enemy. And now he finally got it. You think he wants to just leave? Yeah, we're just gonna up and leave. We're good. We got enough. He didn't get what he wanted already. If you have a sibling, if you have, whatever it is, if you have a family member, a sibling, and you're constantly, taking care of them, helping them pay their rent, helping them pay their light bill, their car note, they're in bad time. The moment you say, I'm done, that lens is going to turn around, and now you're the enemy. You're the one. You're the reason why I'm in this position. That's how it works.
You wish it on an enemy. And of course, it's also a threat. I mean, let's be real. That's a threat. Maybe you need another 9/11. Oh, another 9/11. Okay, now, says the Israeli security official. All right. Does he work for a moving company? Anyway, you see the point. Like, what the hell are you doing? So you would think, by the way, if you're an American who supported Israel, and there are good people in the United States who sincerely support Israel, Jews and Christians, you would look at this and you'd be like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is not good. First of all, as an American, I'm outraged that anyone would talk to us that way or treat us that way or make a threat against it. Maybe another 9/11. But you would also say, if you cared about Israel, like, man, that's self-defeating. That kind of thinking, those kind of threats, like, that's crazy talk. Like, there's no way you can win. Okay, so pull back a little bit. That's what you'd think people would say. But that's not what they said. That's not what Israel's agents in the United States were saying. No, they doubled down on it.
I mean, we have a problem, a big fucking problem. And this is what happens when you let the shit keep going and going and going for, for the duration, how long it's been. It's been years already. AIPAC has been there for a long time already, and they're more involved. So this is the only way to actually truly break away from this once you already allowed them in is just to cut ties completely. But when you cut ties, they're going to be that guy. They're going to be that family member that's going to be like, hey, what's up? You were helping me. Now you're not helping me no more. Now they're going to turn it around on you, and now you're the enemy. So, and plus they run a lot of the things here in the United States. They got a lot of power. You don't think they would use that power? So, yeah, we're in trouble. We let that shit slide way, way too long. Like, follow, subscribe, bang that notification. Let's go.